The Empress, the Queen of Swords, the Moon in reverse. This is a story of transformation and truth coming through today. We've got a divine feminine here that is fully stepping out of illusion, cutting through the fog, and ready to reclaim her sovereignty. There's no more second guessing here today. There's no more holding back. And I do feel there is a divine feminine here that is stepping into her worth. She's ready to move forward with clarity, but is the divine masculine ready to face this truth? Or will he remain stuck in regret? Stay tuned. If this reading is for you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's message. Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome back, everyone. It is Laura, and we are going to talk about these energies today. If you want to skip ahead to the cards, there will be a timestamp below. But first, we're going to talk about these astrological transits. We do got the moon still transiting through Gemini today. It's going to create a couple of square aspects to all of that Piscean energy, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. And we got to keep in mind Venus and Mercury are retrograde. And so it's going to create some pretty tense energy aspects with those planets before it shifts into Cancer, which is really going to feel like a palpable shift, I want to say, because after the moon enters into Cancer, it is going to be squaring it up to Neptune that just went into Aries, and this is going to be a square at that 0 degrees, and so it's going to feel a little bit hazy in the energies today. We got to keep in mind squares create tension. If the energy is feeling heavy or restrictive, it is due to the moon squaring it up with Saturn, Venus, and Mercury, and so there might be a sense of being held back, I feel, in the energies today, or maybe not even feeling like you can fully express your thoughts or your emotions. The moon in Gemini really complicates our feelings because of the air qualities that Gemini brings forward. It is a very dualistic energy, and so there might be doubts about communicating your feelings, or you might be met with resistance or disapproval if you share how you feel. Emotionally, I just feel collectively we are going to be feeling a little bit serious today, or you might even feel like people are dismissive of your thoughts or your communication. And with that square to Venus, emotional connections that are already feeling strained are going to probably deal with a lot of misunderstandings in these energies. You might feel this attempt to connect with somebody, and you're going to express how you feel, and you're going to be met with this feeling of confusion or possibly even rejection. And so just be aware of that. There is potential for feeling majorly disconnected, especially from those that you are close with and that you care about. And with that square to Mercury, that itself is creating fogginess and confusion within communication, or even within thought processes or receiving cosmic downloads. And so I just feel with all of this Piscean influence, it's really going to be hard to grasp. It's going to be hard to grasp what's really being said, whether you're saying something or somebody is saying something to you. So mind the overthinking. Really practice mindfulness in today's energies, because if you are overthinking or misinterpreting messages, you have to be mindful, right? You don't want to be jumping to conclusions. That's just going to create a whole slew of issues if you don't have all of the facts. And then when the moon enters into Cancer, this, I feel, is likely going to be a little bit disorienting, especially with Neptune's recent transition into the sign of Aries. And so this is very bold energy at that 0 degree point. It is an anaretic degree. And so it is the energy, I want to say, of like stepping into the fog, feeling your way forward as you are being pushed forward. And so it's this feeling, I want to say, of wanting to take decisive action, wanting to express your emotions, but you don't know where to start. You don't know how these emotions are going to be received. And I do think emotions are going to be amplified and a little bit unclear. So just be mindful of that. The energy does feel a little bit mentally scattered, which can lead to a lot of emotional conflicts within all kinds of relationships. So in order to really navigate these energies with grace, you do have to consciously ground yourself. Engage in those mindful practices. Journaling is a really good way to ground all of these confusing thoughts. Meditation, of course, allows you to sort through the thoughts and your emotions. Meditation is the process of quieting the mind. Pause. Just take a pause before reacting. I know that's easier said than done, especially in the heat of the moment. But with all of these square aspects connected to the moon, it's going to be really easy to misinterpret or misread energies and situations today. So just take a step back. You don't have to react. It's always best to take a step back instead of responding. And then you do have to be mindful about prioritizing your overall well-being, right? Lean into safe spaces, lean into trusted connections where you don't have to feel too exposed if you're sharing your feelings. And I do want to mention the zodiac signs that are going to be most affected in today's energies are going to be Gemini and Pisces for sure, especially if you have Gemini placements in your sun, your moon, or your rising. This is going to create mental overwhelm, and this is going to create emotional restlessness. If you have major Pisces placements, Sun, Moon, Venus, or Mercury, please be mindful, because I do think your intentions are not going to be reciprocated in these energies, and it's going to lead to probably a lot of hurt feelings or that deep sense of rejection. Cancer, of course, you're up there on the top of the list, because I do think you're going to be feeling this emotional intensity, especially if you have your sun, your moon, or your rising in that Cancer energy, especially with that square to Neptune. It's going to stir up insecurities without a doubt, and it's going to make you doubt your intuition and your instincts. Aries, especially if you have any early degree Aries placements or 0 degrees energy of Aries anywhere in your birth chart, this is going to create a lot of emotional reactions, and you're not even going to fully understand why or why these feelings are arising. And so there's going to be a period, I want to say, of frustration for my Aries collective out there, especially early degree Aries. And of course, mutable signs, all of the mutable signs, because of all of the mutable energy. So Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, you will probably find it very struggling in the energies today to balance logic and emotion, especially if you're dealing with any interpersonal relationship dynamics. That's what I got for the astrology. And the extended, we will go deeper into the twin flame journey and how these energies will affect you if you are on a twin flame journey. But enough about that. Let's dig in with the cards and let's see what the cards have to say for today's energy. All right, let's get into this message today. It definitely all ties in to the moon dynamics playing out, but let's jump into the oracle messages. And the first card out here is the Taurus card, which is all about cultivating a solid, grounded foundation, right? And so this is definitely a card speaking of grounding energy. It is all about practicality, and that is what is essential right now with all of this scattered, emotionally charged energy of the day. And so this is a reminder to grow those deep roots. Focus on your physical body. We are here to manifest in a very practical way rather than getting caught up in all of these illusions or all of these emotional spirals. There's a lot going on in the energies. And so Taurus, the bull, you don't want to charge ahead too fast. There is a stubbornness coming through. I would know. I am a Taurus sun sign. But I do feel somebody here is seeking answers through material means. And the relevancy connected to the Gemini moon, I feel, squaring that Piscean energy, is really creating friction. I do feel twin energy coming through. And so if you are looking for tangible evidence of your twin flame journey, rather than trusting the unseen realm or your inner intuition, that's really going to create even more friction today in the energy. So stay present in your body. Resist that urge to push for answers or to force communication. Instead, cultivate that self-awareness. I do think that's a big message. I do feel very strong divine feminine coming through in the energy today. And so nurture your growth, okay? The second card out, we got that Saturn card. And so there's structure here, right? This is definitely connected to Saturn and Pisces and that square energy playing out with the moon. And so there is a need to discern between structured growth and clinging to an old illusion. I do feel a Queen of Wands energy coming through very boldly. And so there's a reflection here, I want to say, urging you to let go of an outdated structure, especially if you resonate as a twin flame. This is no longer going to serve the connection moving forward. And so this is about examining. Really take that time to go within and examine. Are you holding on to a fantasy of this connection rather than allowing it to naturally evolve? Release control. We can't control how a relationship will look. We can't control how a relationship will unfold. And we certainly can't control another person's action. The only thing we can control is focusing on building our personal foundation built on truth and not illusion. And so this might just mean accepting where you are on the journey without forcing any progress, okay? The next card out, we get Virgo. So there is a lover's quality. I always talk about this card and say separate the wheat from the shaft. There could be a separating energy coming through. I do feel the lovers, and there is this energy of needing to digest some type of truth versus illusion, right? If Pisces is the illusion, Virgo is the truth. And so this is also connected to the sweeping energy of the Virgo South Node, which is the dragon's tail. And so with that Saturn and Pisces energy, I just feel the Virgo energy is really, really needed. And so there is discernment here. I feel there's purification coming through. This is crucial with all of these moon and square aspects playing out today. There is this sense coming through of needing to sort through thoughts, emotions, distinguishing truth from fantasy. And with that lover's quality, like I mentioned, I do feel there's a choice here between two paths. This is going to reflect that potential for all of that inner conflict, especially within the twin flame journey. So are you choosing your higher self and growth, or are you falling into familiar but limiting patterns? Because the South Node is familiarity, it is patterns. And so the guidance here for your twin flame journey is to take that time to digest your emotions, to digest any truth that is being shown to you or is being illuminated before any reactive energies come through. If you are feeling pulled between this desire to communicate and this need, I want to say, for deeper introspection, weed out the distractions. Focus on that inner truth, because the last card that came out is the Pallas Athena card, and there is a Four of Wands energy coming through. And as you see on the card, it says think. And so if we talk about Pallas Athena, it is connected to the Greek goddess Athena, and she was all about strategy. She was all about intellectual clarity. And so this is urging the twins, I feel, today to consider, is this working? Is this not working? Because that Four of Wands energy, I feel coming through is really hinting at wanting that stability, wanting that celebration within the connection, but there is this sense of intellectualizing the process too much. And it is a journey that we have to feel our way through intuitively. And so I do feel strong divine feminine energy coming through. And there is a need, divine feminine, to balance that intuition with logic as the moon is shifting from mental Gemini to emotional Cancer. So look to those two houses in your birth chart. That is where you're going to probably feel the most tension. For me, Gemini is my 4th house, and my 5th house is Cancer. And so do not react. Do not overanalyze. I do feel that's the reminder for the divine feminine today. And be strategic, though. Be strategic about how you are going to approach communication today or any decisions. I do feel there's a big reflection. If you are trying to pursue that clarity or to gain that clarity, or you're just overthinking the connection, take a step back and go into that reflection, okay? Bottom of the deck, we do get the Sagittarius card, which is all about expansion, but I'm also feeling hermity vibes, right? And it is the energy of the archer. And so this Sagittarius energy is calling for adventure. It's calling for spiritual expansion. There is that hint, like I said, of that hermit energy here, suggesting that quest for inner growth. That quest is going to be met through moments of solitude or introspection, which I do feel is very necessary in these energies today. The archer energy is asking, what are you aiming for? What is it that you're aiming for in this connection? And are your actions in alignment with the visions that are coming through? Because we do have to allow space for the counterpart to process emotions, to process thoughts. And sometimes the best thing we can do on this twin flame journey is take that step back and reflect to allow for that greater clarity to kind of emerge, right? And so basically the oracle cards are just asking the twins today, I feel, to bring forward that mental clarity, to bring forward that emotional insights. I know it can be a very struggling journey. Let's face it, the twin flame dynamic is not just about union. It's a very unpredictable journey, whether you are in separation or union or someplace in between. I do feel these energies are asking you to allow that space for reflection. And so if you would like to understand the twin flame dynamic and the twin flame stages a little bit better, I do have a 22-page twin flame ebook guide. If you would like to tap into the twin flame guide, all you got to do is comment down below and I will send you the guide. Just let me know down in the comments, because I know these synchronicities have been pretty loud lately, and that twin flame energy that seemed to be offline during that Mars retrograde is coming back very loud, very strong. And so I do feel the energies really are creating tension in order to find that mental clarity. But I do feel, while the feminine is kind of moving forward, there is another energy here, I want to say, that is kind of, I want to say, stuck in regret and hesitation. And I do think that's the echo of that Gemini Pisces square, where maybe the masculine's thoughts and feelings are not aligning to this dynamic at this time. And so let's talk about this tarot spread. It was pretty significant. We got the Empress came through, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and I do feel this is all one energy connected to the divine feminine today. I love that the Four of Cups came out in reverse. I love that the Five of Swords came out in reverse. And with the Death reverse connected to the Empress, the Queen of Swords, I do feel this is the feminine coming back to life, coming out of this rebirth process. But let's break it down row by row and let's tie this all together today. We get the 10 of Coins, we got the Empress, and we got this Queen of Cups. And so there's a big, loud theme here of empowerment. I want to say emotional maturity. And so the Empress definitely is at the heart of this row. She's the central energy of this row, which is representing the divine feminine. I want to say stepping into her power. This is the divine feminine in that nurturing energy, feeling abundant and gaining that emotional maturity. And so the 10 of Pentacles, I want to say, is a clear indication of the divine feminine creating long-term stability. She is building her legacy through her creative processing, right? And so I do feel that's where the divine feminine is at. She's focused on building that secure foundation for her life. the Queen of Cups on the other side of the divine feminine energy. This is emotional wisdom. We do see the energy of Pisces on the card, which is connected to all of those moon transits playing out. And so this is an energy, I want to say, divine feminine, of harnessing self-compassion. You are deeply in tune with your emotions, I want to say, with your needs. And this is going to allow you to make a choice from a place of love today rather than fear. And so this is screaming. The divine feminine is claiming her inner sovereignty, balancing practical goals, I want to say. And I do feel with all of this emotional depth, integrating all of the lessons that the divine feminine has learned. So the middle row, love it. We get the Chariot. The central energy of the reading is this Queen of Swords, which is connected to communication, speaking that truth. I do feel prominent Libra energy. And then we get to the Moon and Cancer energy with that Four of Cups in reverse. So keep in mind, we've got that Moon and Cancer energy playing out. So it does feel like the feminine is charging forward despite any strong emotions that are arising. And I do feel cutting through confusion and cutting through illusion. That's really what this is feeling like. And so I do feel this is the divine feminine finding her strength and her determination to choose to move forward despite the masculine in that emotional stagnation. And so the Queen of Swords is discernment, right? She's cutting through illusions. This is saying the divine feminine has faced the truth. She's making logical choices rather than being swayed by fantasy. And the Four of Cups in reversed is saying coming out of that emotional apathy, recognizing the past missed opportunities and refusing to dwell on them, right? Because we can't control what another person chooses to do. And so this is where I feel the divine feminine is actively steering her own path and leaving behind all of this emotional confusion and using that clear thinking to guide that movement forward, right? Let's talk about this bottom row. I love it. We get the Five of Swords in reversed, the Death reversed, and the Moon reversed. And so usually reversals can be pretty heavy, but I love the Moon in reverse. This is clarity. This is no more confusion. This is the divine feminine seeing through the illusions and all of those deceptive thoughts, finally understanding her own truth, right? This is liberation. This is releasing conflict. This is no longer engaging in unnecessary battles, whether it's internally or with others. And the Death reverse is really showing coming out of this fully transformed, I want to say, moving forward. There still might be a little bit of hesitation about leaving the past behind completely, but I do feel the divine feminine is shedding all of those old patterns. There's no more self-sabotage. There's no more illusion. There is a sense, a little bit of holding on to the past though, but I do feel the divine feminine really is in an energy today of awakening to her own truth and choosing clarity over confusion. So let's talk about the bottom of the deck. We did get the Four of Swords to the Knight of Swords to the Knight of Coins in reverse. And so I do feel this is a very separate energy from the divine feminine. And this is what is kind of hidden. And so this really is a strong indication of, I feel, an immature counterpart that hasn't done the work, maybe wanting to rush in with communication. I do feel there's been a lack of truth. I do feel there's been this lack of healing. The Four of Swords is indicating some type of heart healing coming through, expansion of this truth. The Knight of Swords can come in very quickly, very brashly. So there could be some communication conflicts today, especially connected to this lack of investment, right? With that Knight of Pentacles and reversed. And so there is a strong indication of the masculine, I feel, resting, contemplating, but there is this desire to rush in and communicate. But I do think Spirit is kind of blocking that with that Two of Swords that came through, because there is some indecision here, I feel, when it's it's connected to being at that crossroads. There's still this energy of unsurety whether to move, I want to say, or stay silent. Because let's face it, this is like a huge missed opportunity here. We got the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Palace of Wands in reverse, which is basically that Ace of Wands on steroids, and that Ace of Coins in reverse. The only ace that's missing is the Ace of Cups in reverse. And so this is a clear indication that the masculine still has not gone into the depths of the heart of the understanding. And so this is a clear indication of a blocked heart chakra still. It does feel this energy coming through is the divine masculine who feels deeply that this is a missed opportunity. And I think he's really, really struggling to break free from those mental blocks, right? It's like he does want to rush in, but he's being held back by, I think, fears of rejection or even not being heard because of those communication blocks. And so overall, I feel today's message is pretty loud. The divine feminine breaking out of illusions, taking charge, grounding herself, getting practical, gaining emotional maturity, and learning to discern, right? Meanwhile, the masculine below the surface is kind of still in that hidden energy, feeling the loss of the connection. And I do feel this is a deep sense, I want to say, of lack of action, which really is connected to the missed opportunity, which could actually lead to a missed opportunity. So if he wants to communicate, but he feels like he's blocked by his own indecision and fear of vulnerability, divine feminine, there's nothing that you can do about that. You are urged, I want to say, to continue focusing on yourself, your growth path, maintain that balance. Let the masculine figure it out for himself. Let the masculine find his own courage to confront his fears and to break free from his own mental prison that he has created here. And so if you would like to go further with me, we're going to take it to the extended. We are going to dive deeper into the astrology behind this shift, and we're going to talk about how this could play out within the twin flame dynamic. We're going to talk about all of these squares and how they're influencing the twin flame connection directly. We're going to explore deeper and clarify some cards. We'll see if or how the masculine is going to break free from this mental block, and we're going to see what you're being encouraged to move on with. Continuing your path, manifesting stability, all while staying open to love. So if you would like to join me in the extended to explore the deeper layers of this journey, the link below for the extended will be in the comment section as well as in the description box. If this is where you leave me, I wish you well on your journey, and I will see you all next time. For those of you joining me in the extended, I will see you over there.